the least to most difficult body shape transformations that there are, in my opinion. Some of the most easiest transformations is going to be going from a pear to an hourglass, because the upper body tends to outgrow the lower body and gain a lot of size pretty rapidly. I also think it's going to be easier if you're a rectangle going to a pear, because you really only have to prioritize growing up that lower body. The next step up, which will be more challenging, is going to be going from an hourglass to a pear, because growing up the lower body is a little bit more challenging just in terms of our anatomy, as well as going from a rectangle to an hourglass, because you have to work on growing up the upper and lower while also cinching in the waist. The next step up is going to be going from a pear to an inverted triangle. Depending on how much width you have the lower body, it may be challenging to kind of gain substantial amount of width in the upper body to have a more top heavy appearance. And the most difficult transformations you're going to see, an inverted triangle to an hourglass, because growing up the lower body is extremely difficult if you're already starting off with a more top heavy physique. And the most difficult of all, in my opinion, is going to be from an inverted triangle to a pear. Sometimes this is not even physically possible. A lot of people, I think, can get to the hourglass, but not the pear. My goal is to get to the pear. I didn't include the body shape of an apple in this, because to be an apple, your waist has to be 10% or larger of either your shoulder or your hips. So it doesn't really take into account if your shoulders or hips are wider. If you're an apple with more narrow hips, it's probably going to be more difficult to get to an hourglass or a pear. A lot of this has to do with body fat composition, where you hold your fat, and of course the rest of your anatomy. If you're interested in learning about your anatomy and strategically training based on that, join my waitlist for the body design system.